Welcome back, everyone. This is CCP Fozzie, joined by Moderator, and we have Exodus versus 404 Alliance Not Found. Another great match coming up here. Exodus has brought double Bargus, Typhoon Fleet Issue, Cyclone, Augurer, Tech 1 Logistics, Hyena, Double Purifier, Vigil Crewer. I expect these Bargus will probably move right at the beginning of the match.
Yeah, I can imagine they would. We've got a Balgorn, an Astarte, another Astarte, Harbinger Navy Issue, Executor, Ashimu, Mauler, Purifier, and 2 Crewers for 404.
Match about to start. It's worth noting this is the 404 Alliance flagship Balgorn here, and the Exodus team, these are rapid heavy Typhoon Fleet Issues and Bargus, because that's going to make a big difference for range choice. We've got a big rush in from the 404 Alliance guys. They're going to try to get damage on right away. Lots and lots of tackle on both sides really quickly. Very, very good screening here.
So that Hyena for Exodus warped into the beacon at essentially 0. He's been counter-tackled by the Crewers, and the Executor for Exodus is now tackled. Exodus, though, is making an excellent counter. They're trying to burst through the Executor of 404 and then work on the support core once that Executor is down, which he has just fallen.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get your Bargus moving right away. In fact, you get your Bargus micro-jumping right away. They jump to the other side of the 404 team and immediately burn down that Executor. That was a great move, actually, with the Hyena at 0. It meant that he could suicide, get webs onto the Logi right off the bat. And with the Executor down, I expect the small ships from 404 are going to fall really quickly now.
Yeah, now that he's down, the Crewer is going to have nothing to hold him up, and he falls. The Purifier is going to be shortly falling next. We see a web and paint already on top of him. Exodus definitely knows what to primary.
Yeah, a great choice, micro-jumping in the Bargus right off the bat, getting the suicide tackle, well, not suicide because he survived, from the Hyena on the Executor, and now they can just rush through the back line of 404. We are seeing some damage on the Bargus, but it looks like they're going to go after the Augur instead. They've got their entire team charging up forward. So these Bargus are out of range of their Logi, but it looks like they're not going to be punished for it.
But the damage we can see from 404 is completely anemic now that their bombers have fallen and that they don't have the Crewers to properly apply webs to the Augurer.
Yeah, Ashimu coming down now. A big swarm of rep drones you can see on your screen there, keeping this Augurer alive. Again, big question is, are the 404 guys going to be able to smart bomb these off? Because they can't take the time to shoot these drones. They need smart bombs. They need them now. And I don't know where the smart bombs are going to come from in this case. They don't have anything close enough. If this Balgorn can get on top of them, he might have them. But without smart bombs, they're not going to be able to break through this Augurer.
No, they're not, and the Augur is just staying alive just fine. He's no longer neuted, he's only being nosed. They've switched their webs now to one of the Bargus of Sabotage. Meanwhile, the Astarte of John Revenant has been painted and webbed. I like that primary. He will take the links off of what remains for 404.
Yeah, this Astarte is also covered with rep drones as well, so he's tanking quite well. We're going to see if we've got smart bombs from Exodus. I expect we will see some smart bombs from those Bargus. They just need some time to get back on top of the Astarte because essentially they switched sides with the 404 team. And they're actually tackled by the Mauler now, so he's going to try to keep the Bargus away from the Astarte. But the Astarte is dropping even through those rep drones.
Yeah, not so much you can do to keep heavy or rapid light missile damage away. And they just project too far, and the Astarte felt the pain as he falls.
Yeah, so Sabotage's Bargus is in a little below half armor now. He's tackled by this Mauler away from his Logi, so we're not seeing any reps on him right now, and he's got the Balgorn right on top of him, turning off his hardeners, doing damage to him, and he is going to drop. You've got reps on him now, but it's going to be too little too late. But it's also too little too late for 404. They're going to get the Bargus kill, but they're, I don't think, going to be able to take any more major ships in this match. Maybe some small ships, but nothing big.
Yeah, 404 really doesn't have too much in the tank, and actually Sabotage is going to be stabilizing now that
he is not scrambled.
Yeah, now that critical mass has fallen off of 404.
And he's micro-jumping.
He's micro-jumping, and the reps have been enough to sustain him long enough for the timer on his spool to get back up again.
Good move by Sabotage here. He micro-jumped himself all the way across the arena, away from any other ships. So he's going to have time now to get back within range of the Augur and get himself fully repped up. And 404 isn't even going to be able to get this Bargus kill, as we see their second Astarte dropping now. Really strong performance from 404 Alliance Not Found. I think they're one of the biggest surprises of the tournament. Made it really far when a lot of people weren't expecting a ton from them because they're a newcomer and just a team that not many people knew too much about. But losing to Exodus, getting knocked out by Exodus, absolutely no shame in that. This is one of these like really strong tournament teams, a contender for the championship, and they're showing it here with a really great performance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how many first-year teams can ever say that they made top 16? Not many. So they're going to get themselves an invite back to next year's AT with seeding. So, I mean, well done by them. I mean, again, no shame in losing to Exodus. Exodus having a bit of a stumbling last night against Afterlife, but they're going to be absolutely shredding through the lower bracket, and looks like 404 is going to be their first victim.
Yeah, that Exodus, I believe, well, we'll see who they're going to face off against next. We're going to have to find out in the next match. But really going to be a contender to make it all the way back up to the losers bracket finals. Second, or the last battlecruiser now dropping for 4 Lance Not Found. And now it's just the flagship Valgorn. So this is the flagship we see here as the last remaining ship for 404. I expect that the Exodus guys are going to be right on top of it to make sure they can loot it. And we're going to see it, hopefully a pretty shiny kill mail here.
Yeah, who doesn't ever like seeing a super capital worth of a flagship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Typhoon Fleet issue is right on top of him. He's tackled, he's neuted, he's got damage coming from the Rapid Heavies. Good fights in local. Both teams recognize that this fight is over and are congratulating each other. We got congratulations from the Exodus guys saying that the 404 folks have done a great job and have made it really far. And they're going to be moving on and fighting again next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, really well done by them. 404 was one of the teams that took a lot of advantage of the Thunderdome in the open practices, and it really clearly shows. Even though they might not have the skill or the mechanics of Exodus, they've got themselves very far, and they've gotten better than I think anyone would have expected for a rookie team. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for them, they have unfortunately found themselves out of the tournament, but
it happens to all but one of the teams, and so there's absolutely no shame in that. This Balgor now in half structure, and he's going to explode. We'll get a nice shiny kill mail and get ready for our next match. There we go. Exodus defeating 404 Alliance Not Found and moving on to continue next weekend. And with that, we'll say you guys.
That match concluded. I'm going to give credit to a Twitch chat member, the Beckham, who dropped 404 points not found in the chat. It's a name that invites quite a lot of creativity when it comes to losing in the Alliance tournament. Alliance not found in the tournament bracket. Alliance not found on the winner's podium. However you want to do it, but points not found.
I know what was found was how well they did. They definitely. First-year team, like everyone's been saying. Second-year team, doing very, very well.
Tremendous performance, good flying, not able to claw anything back versus Exodus, and that's not really all that surprising. Exodus, a very talented team. Actually, it was. I think a lot of people were surprised to see them go into the elimination bracket.
I know, I definitely was, and so was Chesser. But definitely had a bit of a team meeting, and they got everything reorganized and straightened out, and they definitely showed it in this match today.
And just because, one loss, I mean, for Exodus is always going to be a top tier team. One loss, they can that's right. They can come back from that, as they proved. And how quickly they demolished the logistics and the two crawls, the side of 404, and just a lot of discipline. Jumping in there, taking a little bit of a risk, getting out of their rep range, the two bar guests, and then straight away burning back to get in range of the logistics ships. And you saw a couple of times at least once the bar guest to sabotage was scrammed, and as soon as that scram comes off, Michael warps straight back on without a moment's hesitation. So
You do see with teams at this level a very clear, systematic dismantling of their opponents when they can. They look, they wait for an opening. It's kind of a kind of testing for the first few minutes maybe of the match, and then as soon as they get in, that's where they go. They pry their way through, and then they take the comp apart piece by piece.
And you really see like the difference in situational awareness. I mean, this is a team that's been competing for a long time. When they get into a match, they're not so much perhaps as other teams getting nervous about and making little silly mistakes, which is usual on tranquility. You know, if you're in a situation you're not used to. And just the level of discipline and just dismantling the crucial components of the opposing side, taking a couple of risks, getting scrammed, but still getting out without a single loss. A flawless victory.
Total hell death.
Exodus. And, you know, we all expected that.
Different video game, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, right.
We do have a post-match summary going up on the screen here. We're going to see some zeros down there in the Iskalos category for Exodus. They hold on to all of their value. Very nice. But there we have 404 dealing almost 100,000 damage points coming across there from their Astarte combo. Just not able to pin down any one piece, not able to get their foot in the door against Exodus.
Another thing worth noting is that the screening from 404 was instant. You saw about 6 webs come out on the side of Exodus. So as Exodus is going in to blap those 2 crawlers in the logistics, 404 was doing their best to screen them away, but it just wasn't enough. Exodus just mopped them up.
Now, an interesting little, I don't know, component of this particular match, Executor for Logi on 404's side, and Augur for Logi on Exodus side. Tech1 Logi is coming through.
Could have been a points issue, I guess.
I mean, is that a concern? They're already taking advantage of the Blood Raider reductions there, going after the Crewers, the Shimu, and Balgorn for 404. Yep. Exodus, I guess, leaning a little bit more heavily, getting that Floon and the Barghest. But I just don't. I double Barghest. Sorry, I'm just not sure. I wouldn't have expected to see. That Tech 1 Logi coming in. And yeah, the bands were there, Guardian Onero, so I guess they were just dedicated to those armor comps.
Yep.
But I almost would expect a little bit more flexibility from Exodus, shifting from an armor comp into something else. Where they, like they banned out the armors, where they, I guess they were...
They just knew what they wanted to achieve, and they had taken on the arches, even if they knew that the Logi was going to get banned. And... this is the Exodus that we know and love. You know, that this is the championship caliber Exodus that showed up for this match, and they showed it. I mean, they came in, just blew them away.
They are certainly going to be fearsome as they move forward through this elimination bracket. Their fight will be up against, I think, whoever wins the next fight, number 114, which will have us see, and let me make sure that I get this correct, Freeport Republic versus the Ronin. Mm-hmm. Phoebe doing very well.
They've been incredibly surprising to me. I didn't think they were going to make it this far.
A lot of people didn't.
But they're showing their chops.
And the Ronin showing their ad-making chops. That advert is actually really nice. Really, really good work, guys. We appreciate you submitting it. I hope that it works to whatever effect you intended. It certainly fills me with a desire to...
Warms the zeal.
It intensifies my want to know more.